They told you overthinking was a flaw, your mind is too noisy, that your thoughts spiral too much. But what if that chaos was power? What if the very thing that keeps you up at night, that deep, relentless analysis of everything, is the same thing that makes you extraordinary? Let me say this clearly. Overthinking is not your enemy. It is your hidden advantage. And when you stop fighting and start using it, everything will change. Because here's the truth. The world isn't run by those who act fast. It's run by those who think deeply. The ones who pause before they leap. The ones who question everything. The ones who feel the weight of decisions because they understand the consequences. And yes, that sounds like you. See, overthinking gets a bad name because it slows us down, it keeps us stuck, it makes us doubt. But doubt is not weakness. Doubt is awareness. It's the sign of a mind that sees multiple possibilities, not just the obvious path ahead. When you overthink, it means your mind is zooming in and out of situations. You're not just living, you're observing. You're not just deciding, you're dissecting. And that's rare. Most people don't even realize what they're doing until it's already done. But you notice the storm before it hits. This is the part they don't tell you. Overthinking is a byproduct of high cognitive sensitivity. It means your brain is wired to process more emotion, more meaning, more risk, more depth. That's why you can't just relax when people tell you to. Because your mind is already 5 steps ahead. You see connections others miss. You analyze not only what was said, but what wasn't. You pick up patterns in people, in situations, in energy. That's not anxiety, that's intelligence. But here's the catch. When you don't know how to channel it, that intelligence turns inward, and it starts to consume itself. You begin to question your worth, your choices, your place in the world. You start asking, why can't I stop thinking? Instead of asking, where can I direct this thought? You've been taught to suppress the very thing that makes you powerful. You've been told to let go, move on, and think less. But no one ever said, use it. Use it to see deeper into people's motivations. Use it to anticipate outcomes that others are blind to. Use it to design solutions that the fast-acting minds will never even imagine. The world doesn't need more reaction. It needs reflection. So let's flip the script. Overthinking becomes a curse only when it's passive. When you overthink and do nothing, it becomes a loop. But when you overthink and then act, it becomes a vision. It becomes a strategy. It becomes mastery. There's a reason some of the world's most brilliant thinkers were tormented by thought. Nietzsche, Kafka, Tesla, they didn't think like everyone else. They couldn't. Their minds were too sensitive to ignore reality, too curious to settle for surface-level answers. Overthinking, at its core, is a philosophical trait. It's the tension between what is and what could be. It's the space between the moment and the meaning. And the problem isn't that you think too much. The problem is that you haven't realized your thoughts are tools. They are instruments. And it's time you learn to play them. You can use your overthinking to create clarity, not confusion. Here's how. First, stop trying to stop it. You can't. Your brain isn't broken. It's brilliant. So instead of fighting your thoughts, listen to them, write them down, get them out of your head and onto the page. What you'll realize is that the noise isn't just noise, it's a message. It's your mind trying to warn you, or guide you, or push you. Second, channel your overthinking into creation. If you're going to spiral into something, write, design, analyze, build, turn that energy into output. Because here's the truth. Overthinkers make the best creators. You've already built entire realities in your head. Now build them in the world. Third, know the difference between fear and foresight. Overthinking often looks like fear, but sometimes it's your intuition screaming at you. It's your gut noticing something isn't right, even if you can't explain why. That's a gift. Trust it. Most people regret what they missed, not what they saw too clearly. Your mind is a radar. Use it. But maybe the most important shift of all is this: stop seeing your mind as a battlefield and start seeing it as a command center. Overthinking isn't chaos, it's complexity. And complexity is beautiful, it's powerful, it's rare. You weren't made for shallow waters, you were made to dive, to ask questions that others avoid, to go deeper into yourself and the world around you. And I want you to know this: you are not broken. You are brilliant, not despite your overthinking, but because of it. It means you care. It means you feel. It means you see. So don't silence your mind. Strengthen it, because what the world calls too much, it is often exactly what the world needs more of. So, how do you use this power in the real world? Start by recognizing patterns, not just in your thoughts, but in your behavior. Notice how your mind reacts to certain people, places, and decisions. There's a system underneath your spirals. Your mind isn't random, it's protective. When you overthink, it's often your brain scanning for threats: emotional, social, existential. But if you become conscious of those patterns, you gain control. Most people live on autopilot. You don't. You have the power to observe your thoughts, analyze them, and then choose your response. That's not paralysis, that's precision. Imagine making decisions not impulsively, but with depth. Not rushing into relationships, but reading the undercurrents. Not reacting to chaos, but understanding its roots. That's not overthinking, that's emotional intelligence. The next time someone tells you, "You think too much," smile, because that means you're awake, you're present, you're alive to every detail. But here's something even deeper. Overthinking is often born from pain, from trauma, from having to figure things out on your own. When no one explained the rules of the world to you, you had to analyze everything to survive. So yes, your mind is sharp because it had to be. That's not weakness. That's adaptation. And now that you're older, you can refine that adaptation into intuition, into power, into wisdom. You start asking yourself not just what's wrong with me, but what is my mind trying to protect me from? When you start decoding your overthinking, you turn suffering into insight. This is your edge in a noisy world. In a society that celebrates speed and distraction, you are the one who slows down. You ask the bigger questions. You refuse the shallow answer. You demand truth. And that makes you dangerous in the best way possible. People will underestimate you. They'll mistake your silence for insecurity, your hesitation for fear, your doubts about weakness. Let them. Because while they're reacting, you're planning. While they're speaking, you're listening. While they're chasing validation, you're crafting vision. Overthinking becomes unstoppable when you merge it with purpose. Your mind becomes a laser. Your focus becomes lethal. You stop being a victim of your thoughts and become the architect of them. And then something miraculous happens. Your anxiety fades. Your fear lessens. Your self-trust grows. Because you're no longer drowning in thought, you're riding it like a wave, like a storm. You finally learned to surf. Let's take this further. You see, overthinkers often carry hidden genius. You think in layers. You understand contradiction. You thrive in complexity. That's what makes you a philosopher, an innovator, a deep soul in a shallow world, but the real superpower you feel deeply. And that depth, that is your gold. In a time where most people skim through life, you go beneath the surface. You notice beauty that others miss. You detect pain that others hide. You understand what goes unsaid. This emotional intelligence, this sensitivity, it's not a curse. It's your key to connection, to meaning, to greatness. But you have to own it. You have to stop apologizing for your mind. You have to stop shrinking to fit the comfort of others. You were not made for the easy path. You were made to see more, to feel more, to do more. And you will. But only if you stop running from your thoughts and start listening to them. So now I ask you, what if everything you thought was wrong with you, is it actually what's most right about you? What if your mind was never broken, just misused? What if your overthinking was never meant to trap you, but to prepare you because maybe, just maybe, your mind is not your prison, it's your portal. And if you're willing to go through it, if you're willing to harness the chaos, you won't just survive this world, you'll reshape it. So here's the question I leave you with. What's one way your overthinking has secretly helped you? Even if no one noticed it, drop it in the comments below. I read everyone. And if this message struck something in you, if you felt seen, understood, or simply not alone, give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning. Your mind is not too much. Your thoughts are not a burden. You are not too sensitive, too complicated, or too intense. You are exactly what this world needs more of. Think deeply, live wisely, speak the truth, and never, ever apologize for your depth again.